This season, honestly, while it somehow found a way to be okay, this is an ultimate failure in my opinion. We're playing in the Mayo Bowl. I mean, look, don't get it twisted. Mayonnaise definitely belongs on the right kind of sandwich, but the fact that we could have been playing for the College Football National Championship, but instead we're playing in a bowl game for a Mayo company, a mayonnaise company. That's how far we fell. But there's a little bit of good news. I mean, we're playing an unranked team. Jesus Christ, McDonald, just get rid of it. We had guys open, we couldn't even throw it. I'm out here beyond hyper playing an unranked Duke team, and we're out here possibly getting pummeled by this same unranked Duke team. Life ain't fair. But Sean Stewart ain't fair either, and this dude is pissed that he didn't win the Heisman. This should have been his, in my opinion. But honestly, tell me in the comments down below, do you think that he should have ultimately won the Heisman? Did it go to Scott? Rightfully so. I think honestly how far we dropped back really ultimately hurt us, because if we had been sort of a top team still, we would have been fine, and Sean Stewart would have definitely been the Heisman winner, in my opinion. And look, some of you might be saying that, well, we shouldn't have given the ball to Quentin Robinson the 6 times that he ultimately, ran for a touchdown. But at the same time, Sean Stewart shouldn't have been out there just saying he was gassed and sit on the sidelines. He could have easily come in, but he didn't. 2nd and 6, McDonald, the only guy in the backfield. Passes this guy over the top. He throws one, and it's caught. It's just out of bounds. Big 3rd down and 6, though. McDonald immediately just out here running for his life, throws one away, and good Lord, can we block? Maybe next season. Aiden Bailey, for my money, was the best kicker in the nation, even as a freshman. I guess he just didn't have an opportunity to kick as many field goals, but you know what? Maybe next season he'll be kicking more, who knows? But still, absolutely money. We'll take a 3-0 lead. Duke comes out here again, a solid 7-5 year for them. Not exactly probably what they wanted to have. Oh my God, hold on a second. Who is this? Duke? I'm still definitely upset that we didn't, make a good play and beat Purdue in that game, but it's just the downfall of this team and how poor our defense has been. We have got to beef this defense back up, and I think a lot of the recruits we have coming will help. One thing we kind of shied away from, though, was adding a little bit of depth sometimes, because we had some top-end players, and we're like, well, we don't really need guys sitting on the bench that are great, too. This season definitely showed us, though, that shouldn't be the case. Where we can get depth, we will absolutely get it, because the more people we have in this team that are great, like James Mitchell, waiting to get out there, the better. One of the highlights of my day, though, is seeing Mike Hemphill out there ready to return himself a punt. We haven't seen a Mike Hemphill punt return in God knows how long. This man could have sat out. He could have said, nah, I'm going to the league. I don't need to be out there. But he came back to play his final game here at Cascade Valley, and he's a legend for that. McDonald out here in shotgun. Loved what I'm seeing here. Tom Baker, great play. We'll take the 16 yards. It honestly feels like yesterday that Tom Baker was that generational prospect that we had coming in that ended up changing the face of this program in a lot of ways. He didn't necessarily have the major stats, but he had some major plays throughout his career. And honestly, the trio of Baker, Riley, and Willis, that has been, I think, for my money, the best receiving core we have ever seen in Cascade Valley, by far. Don't worry though, if you care about career and season stats, all that'll be shown in the next episode, but we want to make sure we obviously get these guys a W and send them out the right way, unlike what happened in the previous week. This, Jesus Christ, almost got picked. Stewart trying to get things going again. Looking for a block. He got one there. He cuts up a little bit. And Sean Stewart running like the man that should have been given the Heisman. Going right back to Sean Stewart here. Easy run up the middle. Stewart cuts back a little bit, but it's still enough for the first. Robinson's coming in to spell him up a little bit. Robinson finds a good gap here. Doesn't really have the speed, obviously, that Sean Stewart does, but still, we'll take that from the JUCO transfer. 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. Trying to get back in the end zone again. Sean Stewart finding the gaps, and look at that 7-yard run. 1st and goal. Our guys are ready. He sees him in the backfield. What are we doing, McDonald? Stewart right back in the game. He's honestly had a really difficult time getting in the end zone these last couple of weeks. This time they say he's in. 4 yards later, Sean Stewart, touchdown number 19 in the season. You love to see it. Little 10-0 lead for the squad. Duke now has the football back, and our guys right here trying to make some plays. And look at Stephen Lowe from the left side all the way to the right. Out of shotgun, they go right back to the run. Little counter attack. George Fry comes over. He ends up getting the tackle. Bo Jones having a great running game so far today. We're trying to stop that. Obviously, giving up the run has been a huge problem for us throughout the entirety of this entire season. And look at this, another big gain, this time through the air. Mike Hemphill is definitely a little bit out of practice. That ended up being a gain that he gave up there. Bump and run, a little tough when you've been sidelined for week after week. Turk goes up the middle. He's getting a big gain here. Will Hazel's going to stand him up, but it's 13 yards too late. Turk and Jones in the backfield again. This time they stay in shotgun. Big run up the middle, but Kendall Owens is there to stop him for a loss of 2. First quarter's winding down, 2nd and 12. They go with the run. Mitchell, though. James Mitchell. That's why you saw his name up there in a lot of lists. This dude is underrated. Big third down here, dropping a lot of our guys back. They got 13 yards. Just keep him in front of you. They're going across the middle, and look at this. A good tackle to keep them making it 4th and 4. So we obviously got a field goal earlier in the game. Duke trying to line up for one right here. Their kicker is one of their best players in this squad. A lot of pressure here. This one's right down the middle, though, because he's sitting literally in front of it, and he gets it to go, dropping him down to 7. Jeremy Willis sliding over the backfield. He's obviously been great in the running game throughout his career. McDonald, though, has nowhere to go. 2nd and 12 here with a little play action. All over the middle of the field is Jeremy Willis with a big game. Didn't work on the rushing side, but it worked huge on the receiving side there. Right back to the run attack. Sean Stewart with a huge gap over the middle. Breaks a couple of ankles, keeps it moving, and picks up what looks to be almost 15. 6.5 minutes left here in the first half. Underneath, Tom Baker will take it. 2nd and short, back in shotgun. There's an unbelievable amount of pressure here in the backfield. McDonald's got to get rid of it yet again. The good news, though, 3rd downs have been kind to it so far. Converting a whole bunch of them. Look at McDonald finding some room. And Patrick McDonald, excuse me. The man can run a little bit. Whether he's playing QB, halfback, wide receiver, the dude can play in a lot of different spots. And he's showing you what he can do on the ground right there. Excellent run there by McDonald. Puts us up 17-3. You love to see it. Stephen Lowe missing the tackle. Bernard Harvey getting a run over, but Hemphill drags down Bo Jones. Turk still in the backfield. Always dangerous. That combo of Turk and Bo Jones, but this time we're going to get him pretty much for a loss of 1. That was Chris Bass in this tackle, and honestly, one could argue that Chris Bass kind of fell off this season. Highly rated. A lot of expectations for him, but he just didn't really stand up to the standards we had. But look at Matthew Fowler getting the backfield for a sack. About time. Moving our guys around a little bit, sitting in zone, trying to give him a little bit of a breather after all these weeks of running man defense. Watch in the middle. They got a whole lot of guys moving. We see them, and then we still can't cover them. George Fry gives up one to Deontay Bryan for 15. And I got to be honest, I'm not really blaming George Fry on that one. This dude's an award winner, but more importantly, the defensive line didn't get to the quarterback. If you're going to give a quarterback 16 hours to throw the football, I'm not going to be mad at my linebacker blowing coverage after 15 seconds. Trying to get to the quarterback again. Turk's going to take off a little bit. Fowler sees him. It's a little bit too late. This man is moving down the middle, and we see Hemphill, I believe, bring him down, but they're inside the red zone now. Dude feeling pretty good right now. They can cut the lead again. Back to a small margin. Quarterback's out here moving. Big hits all over the place, and Fowler's going to wrap up Bo Jones. Quarterback sees a little gas at the moment. They're going to slide. Looks like they're tight end out to the wide receiver spot. Back over here to the line, though. So they were trying to figure out if we were running man or zone. Their quarterback's still moving. A lot of guys all over that, though. Doesn't matter who you are. At some point, all those hits at the quarterback position are going to hurt you in some way, shape, or form. They throw one out here to the corner, but it don't matter. What a dot here to Josh Higgins. I mean, that's probably the best ball we've seen from Turk all game, and it was a beautiful pass out there that nearly got them in the end zone. This time, Bo Jones goes to the edge, and Stephen Lowe is waiting for him on the left. Get a little bit of breathing room with that hit. Duke, though, still in a great position. We get absolutely fooled. Our defensive tackle lost his mind, and JT Turk's in the end zone to cut the lead to 7. 2 minutes, 7 seconds left here in the first half. Our goal right now is just to literally put some points on the board. Field goal, touchdown, whatever. We need it at the moment. Coach Mervin McMervin has not lost a bowl game in years, and he's not trying to lose one right now. McDonald, all the time in the world, gets one down there to Wilson, and Wilson picks up 29 big yards. Wilson's going to be an absolute problem next season. We cannot wait to see what he does. What we can wait to see is what Robinson does here in this little running back read option play that did not work. Robinson played a little bit of trick, played quarterback at his school before transferring here, but again, with no time to really pass the football, it doesn't really matter who you are, what you did, and oh my God, we turned it over again. Riley in the tackle, and Duke has the football with 1 minute and 3 seconds left in the perfect spot to try to get more points on the board. Our goal here is to put a little bit of pressure on the quarterback. We're going to slide Hammond over to the right-hand side. We're in zones, doesn't really matter. Fry comes in here and a big hit by George Fry. That was a huge hit by George Fry, changing how things are a little bit. Duke uses their first time out, 2 left for them. It's like a little halfback screen. Fry and company try and get over there. Lowe got absolutely lost. Hemphill bounces off of him, but Jones gets 10. Duke has the football in 3rd and short, using their second timeout. They go with a little screen here. Hill is there, but DeMel Hill lost his mind and couldn't get the tackle. Switching the coverage up really quick, trying to make sure we got guys lined up. Turk's got 48 seconds in a dream. Still 1 timeout for Duke. Rutledge pushing the pile a little bit. Turk is going to wisely throw one out of bounds as everybody's covered. 2nd and 10 again, just trying to do anything to get a stop right now. We do not want Duke to cut in this lead even more than they already have. They're going deep. Shackelford will work on his coverage in the offseason, but good Lord, is it bad right now. Shackelford's one of those guys, and maybe he makes a play to become a linebacker in the offseason. Maybe he moves to something else, because right now he's struggling at safety when any coverage is called for him. They're going for a little option here. Stephen Lowe, though, one of the best tacklers in Cascade Valley history, makes a big play. Playing the pass the entire way here. Turk again, looking for something. Has a couple of guys he throws. Well, Mike Hemphill is back, baby. Mike Hemphill. We have needed somebody to come out here and make some plays. And Mike Hemphill, in his last college football game ever, keeps extending his own record. 19 career interceptions and counting. And the problem is Hemphill was actually out of the 1 yard line. So we are just trying to make sure that we can get this ball out of the end zone and make our lives a little bit easier and go into halftime. Enjoy the halftime show. It's going to be a good one. Welcome back to the halftime show. We're going to kick things off with a little bit of a recruiting update here. Garrett Nealer down 150 points. Remember, we're in sort of the bowl game, so we can't really be actively recruiting. These guys will be more recruited come the offseason. Alvin Camp, we're in the lead. Odiari, we're actually in the lead now, which is great news. Jaquez Ness, who I think will be a starting corner for us immediately. We're in the lead for him by 1,100 points. We have Kingsley Spencer in the lead. Braden Willis, we're working our way up, but we're like down 1140. But honestly, if you look at sort of the top school standpoint, we went up 1,060 points. We're still in a really good spot. Malcolm Maurice, we're in the 2,500 range, but again, he's probably going to lock his schools. We may have an opportunity to work our way back in, but it's going to be close. Then we have Jalen Ferris, who we're in the lead for, as well as Charlie Millen, who we're in second place for, but I think we'll soon be in the lead for him as well. I know I teased at the beginning of the video, but the thing that I'm the most shocked over is the Heisman winner was Eric Scott from Ole Miss and not our boy Sean Stewart. Are you kidding me? Now, if we compare how their seasons ultimately win, we're seeing that Scott ran for 1,574 yards and had 18 rushing touchdowns. And then on the receiving side, he had 192 yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. Sean Stewart, again, 1,339 yards, which is great. 18 rushing touchdowns, which ties what we saw from Scott. Again, lower rushing yards. But the big differentiator, in my opinion, was 546 receiving yards on 56 receptions and 4 receiving touchdowns. He had significantly more total yardage, which honestly should have gave this dude the Heisman, in my opinion. But as you look at other awards, we see the Maxwell Award goes to Luke Mansfield from Georgia Southern, who had a stellar season with nearly 1,000 yards on the ground, as well as 3,000 yards through the air and 40+ touchdowns. Stewart finishes second there. The Walter Camp, though, Sean Stewart does take that home, so he gets a little bit of hardware this season. The Bednard goes to George Fry, with Matthew Fowler and James Mitchell both finishing behind him. Again, this is a true freshman winning that award. Keep that in mind. The Nagurski goes to George Fry as well. The O'Brien Award goes to Nick Petty from University of Kentucky. We're seeing the Walker Award go to Sean Stewart. Actually, back to the O'Brien Award really quickly. A lot of you guys have won how our boy Cedric Thornton did. Well, honestly, you can see his stats at the very top. The dude had a great year. 3,500 yards passing, 741 yards, 47 total touchdowns. As a true junior, he honestly played really well. Again, the Walker going to Stewart, the Bolitnikoff going to Kevin Holt at Texas Tech, who is the receiver you might obviously realize of our boy Cedric Thornton. He had 88 grabs on 1,700 yards and 23 touchdowns. We see Mackey Award go to Jake Miller. We see Nelson Owens take the Outland Award from Ole Miss. The Remington Award goes to Mr. Kevin Brown, where we had Jackson, our sophomore center, sitting there number 10. The Lombardi goes to Marvin Hamilton, Rutledge finishing 5th. We see the best linebacker go to George Fry. Again, this dude racked up awards this year as a true freshman. He was an absolute stud. Shout out to Stephen Lowe finishing 3rd. The Thorpe Award goes to Matthew Fowler. Again, I am utterly shocked considering how poor his second half of the season was. They even held out against James Mitchell and company, but it is what it is. Congrats to him for getting that award. Maybe it'll help his draft stock. The Groza goes to Nick Wood with our boy Aiden Bailey, the true freshman, mind you, finishing 3rd. And then the Michael Barnes Show gets the Ray Guy Award, taking home the best punter in the nation. And the best returner, we don't really have anybody up there just quite yet, not even anybody in the top 12 at this point, but still we see this award ultimately going to James Coker of Florida Gators. And as you can tell, we massively dropped out in the standings. We should have and could have been top 5 at worst, but instead we are significantly lower. Ole Miss is facing Miami in the college football playoffs for the national title game. You'll see the outcome of that very soon. And then you're going to see again Georgia getting in the top 10. Texas falls back a little bit, and we are sitting at number 18 in the nation. Honestly, it hurts. It hurts a lot. The one bright spot we have, as you're noticing against this game against Duke, is that we don't have a single player on the injury reserve still. It's great to have that finally happen, but it would have helped us out weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Still, back to the second half. So Duke's interception was nearly a touchdown, but Mike Hemphill, like he's done so many times here in Cascade Valley, saved the day and honestly kept Duke off the board. But they have the ball to start the second half. Trying to keep the pressure on him here. They're staying in shotgun. They're doing a whole lot of moving around. We've been in man and zone a lot today, but it doesn't really seem like we have a problem. Doesn't seem like we have a solution for the problems they're giving us. Duke just moving in with ease right now. We need Hemphill to bail us out or somebody else at this point. Send a guy in motion, little wide receiver reverse, and we easily stop that one with James Mitchell. James Mitchell's done an incredible job these last few weeks, just playing out of his mind, getting into the backfield, making stops, keeping this defense on their toes. And oh my God, he pitched it in with the other way. Kendall Owens falls on it. We could have had a big guy touchdown, but instead the true freshman out of Morgan City, Louisiana, gets the ball right back for Cascade Valley. Duke out here in late shambles, as the French saying, we've got the ball right back here with an opportunity to do something big. And honestly, as much as I would love to give the credit to defense there, that was really the offense just being absolutely insane and not really using their brain, because that should have never happened. Big play here, 3rd and 5. Throwing one over the top, and the linebacker makes a great play. Coach Mervin McMervin saw something out there. Says, look, he want to go ahead. He wants to go for it. He believes the team can get the job done. So we're going to trust Coach to see what we can get here. Couple of adjustments here by McDonald. McDonald's out here rolling. He sees something in the defense. He's going to easily take the yard slides, and we've got a conversion. Big first down. McDonald fumbled it. No way. Fumble by McDonald. Marquez Smith, the big fella. Put him in running back. Put him in running back. We found ourselves staring deep down the field at times, and it has not paid out for us, you could argue. 2nd and 25. Got a guy going over top. That was an absolutely underthrown mess by Patrick McDonald. We have 95 arm strength coming next season. We may not see that happen again for a long time. The inability to pass the ball downfield hurts us. We are so used to being able to stretch the field at some capacity. Thank God our defense is stepping up here. What a big hit by Kendall Owens again. 2nd and 13, they go straight to the run. This run has been wide open across the middle, but Jones went somehow to the left-hand side for 10. The opportunity here for a play. 3rd and short. Duke opts to go for a run. George Fry is there, and a big hit stops Jones short of the mark. Like Hemphill had an opportunity for a punt return earlier. Didn't really go super far, but this man shaking off a little bit of the rust. Let's see what he can do here. This ball's kicked literally to the edge of the sideline. Hemphill's not really going to have much room to try to return one. He's going to go up the middle of the field. Mike Hemphill with a great return, putting us on the right side of the 50, and we have missed this so much. Multiple guys in the backfield, all trying to protect Sean Stewart. Sean Stewart, juke move doesn't really work out, but he gets 6. Stewart's honestly had a pretty great game, already getting close to 100 yards. 3rd quarter's winding down now. It's just another one of those games where he grinds away to defense and makes them pay. Back to the little read option. McDonald had a major run earlier. Man, might be dead on that one. Definitely needed RJ Riley to secure that block. He didn't, and well, McDonald kind of got hurt because of it, but it is what it is. But McDonald says, you know what, I'll go ahead and run on this one. Looking for some big gains. He's down inside the 10. This close to the red zone, you know what time it is. The touchdown vulture trying to get himself some touchdowns. Because last week he had a bunch vultured from him. This week he's trying to get in there, and he does the 2nd time today. Sean Stewart, he's back. After a great run by Sean Stewart there, it was slightly sour by Aiden Bailey missing the extra point. He's been so good this season. I believe it's the first one he's actually missed all year. You hate to see it, but it happens from time to time. 2nd and 7. Duke probably going with the pass here. Actually, they go with the run. He immediately scrambles and gets sacked by Amir Carson. Let's see what Duke has right here. 3rd down, 8 yards to go. We're playing the pass. They got a couple of guys here. Shackelford and company come in. That is a big-time hit. He goes down again. Tony Rutledge gets the sack officially, and we are seeing this defense step up. I got to admit, it honestly feels kind of weird to get this hyped up over just playing great against Duke. But honestly, with what we've been through this season, I'm not going to really take anything for granted. Hemphill out here flashing the speed. I'll take it. Give this man some blocks. We're not used to seeing a guy this fast punt return. McDonald sending Willis in motion. And last time we tried this, didn't really work out our way, but a pass play shortly after absolutely killed it. This one out here to Jeremy Willis. Willis might, speaking of killed, it might have died. Back in shotgun again. McDonald again feeling unbelievable amounts of pressure. Has a guy way on the other side of the field. He throws one up, and it's Jeremy Willis. We said a big-time pass play happened the last time after we ran that play, and Willis, we saw him at the corner of our eye, not a soul on him. And we're in the end zone because of it. Good news, though, I guess, is along with that touchdown, we got an extra point that actually worked. Who would have thought? It's a shame that it's taken this team this long in the season to, one, get healthy, but it just shows that when they are healthy, they would have been an absolute problem for a whole lot of teams. I don't care who we would have played. This team healthy with some time to gel would have been dominant. Because honestly, when our defense is playing like they're capable of playing, they can bail out our offense so many times. Because that is our only Achilles heel, is our offense. And look at how good the defense is right now with everybody healthy. When you got great coverage, the defensive line can do their job. Where Mike Hemphill was just itching to have a big return. I think he's at a 17-yarder. It's probably his longest one today. This man says, give me a good punt, give me some room, and let me go to work. This was actually pretty decent. Hemphill Moving around, cuts back a little bit, goes to the middle of the field, and hey, we'll take 18 yards. Getting the ball right back at Sean Stewart's hand here. Little halfback off tackle. Again, nothing crazy, but 2 yards is that okay. 2nd down and 8. Only guy in the backfield is McDonald. See him roll it. Hello? Our guy Tom Baker was absolutely wide open on that play. We just, man, airmailed it. I got questions. Where are the answers? We had 1 4th down conversion earlier. Honestly, why not try for another one here? Not who we've been trying to throw it to, and not the result we wanted. 6.5 minutes left. We got a nice little 20-point lead, but how that offensive drive win was not ideal. Let's see the defense and bail us out yet again. They've been really good, forcing multiple punts and some turnovers here and there. Turk taking off again. Our guys are all over him, and it's a big hit from Shackelford. I'm really hoping that in the offseason that Shackelford takes a huge leap because that dude's 6'6", can fly around the field. He's got to work on his coverage some. When and if he does get better coverage, though, this dude could be an unbelievable legend. One of the best safeties we'd ever have. We've obviously had another great tall safety before in Ray Walton. Ray Walton was a legend, was a captain in his time, but I think Shackelford has potential to be even better. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Lowe's trying to get a little bit of outside pressure. Turk doesn't buy it. Bryant goes out of bounds. I thought he might have been short, but they say he did have enough. And look, credit goes out to Turk. As much pressure as we put on that dude, he's only thrown 2 incompletions on the entire ball game. I mean, that's pretty elite considering how much pressure we've had. I mean, look at this. Pressure nonstop on this guy. And he's only thrown 2 incompletions. That blitz was called at the perfect time, though. Ends up being the 2nd sack of the game for Amir Carson. We've just been all over this team, and it doesn't stop. Another big tackle. This time, Turk, though, manages to get 1. Turk has ran 17 times for 25 yards. This man's just been running for his life in the backfield. It's not working out for him too well. Bryant comes in the backfield, swings out to the right-hand side. Another screen coming up. He sheds a tackle this time. We got Lowe coming, and God bless America, what a hit. Oh, okay, I was going to say pass interference on who? On who? We're declining that. What a hit. We got a 4th and 19 right now. Duke is going for it. I respect it, but God, I'm hoping they don't get this. Trying our best to be in coverage. This guy is just going to throw it completely in the middle of nowhere. No one gets to it, and we got the ball right back. With a little under 4 minutes left in the game and a 20-point lead, we're going to bring in a lot of our backups. And keep in mind, our backup starting quarterback is a guy that honestly could be the starting quarterback. You can make that argument. Well, 2nd and 5, Kendrick makes an adjustment. Underneath, we're going to see Quentin Robinson again getting involved in the passing game, which isn't really his forte, but what a big gain after that move. I can't help but wonder as well what would have happened if Joe Kendrick honestly never got hurt. It's just one of those things you think about because you're like, man, that dude's so good. Look at RJ Riley. What a play. Kendrick to Riley in a nasty move to get us in the end zone. Again, letting a lot of the subs come in and see what they can ultimately do because some of these guys will be starting next season, so we got to see what we ultimately have. I got to say, though, man, it was good to see Mike Hemphill come back for that one final college game and get the interception. That honestly was a huge game changer. Whatever NFL team gets him, they're getting a game changer, a shutdown corner, a guy that can hold down an entire side of a defense. He's just that good, in my opinion. Duke's still trying to get a little bit more points to the board just to be a little bit respectable. They're going to see Turk take off. We got our guys going after it. Joe Kendrick was playing. I forgot Joe Kendrick was an athlete coming in. The man's playing a little bit of D out there. Turk going up the middle. This time he goes to Rosario. Rosario, I believe, had a touchdown earlier in the game. Goes for 14 here. Coleman watching the running back out of the backfield. Isaiah Holman's going to try to get into the backfield himself. Can't quite do it. This ball goes across the middle, but a big hit by Coleman after Brian gets 14. See what our guys can do. A minute left in the game. They're trying to go with the run here, but look at Nate Warren saying, oh, I'm going to come in the game and make sure you don't get nothing. Little QB spy, because again, Turks ran nearly 20 times in today's game. He's going to go for another one here. Pitches it out to the outside. Mitchell and company there. Stop him. Big 3rd down here. QB spying again, watching Turk to see if he runs, because again, he's been doing it a whole lot today. Throws one to the edge over Coleman's head. We've pushed Clark out of bounds, make it 4th down. Obviously, Duke is just saying we got to go for it every single time mode. 4th and 3. Pressure coming off the edge. Turk dumps one underneath. Sampson's there. He says, might be a backup, but you ain't getting this 1st down. It's not the craziest game in the world to win, but it is the Duke's Mayo Bowl. And you know, everyone gets mayonnaise today. This by far was the play of the game. An unreal throw by Jeremy Willis. To Jeremy Willis with McDonald finally looking down the field. There's so many questions we have to answer in the offseason, and good Lord, I can't wait to figure them out. After losing the biggest controversy, I think, ever in college football, it is great to come out here and get a win, despite it being a bowl game that literally no one cares about. But still, we see Kendrick go 4 for 4, 75 yards and a touchdown. McDonald 10 for 20, 193, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. You can tell which quarterback albeit the small sample size had a better game today. On the ground, Stewart goes for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. Love seeing him finally get back in the end zone after what happened the previous week. McDonald has a touchdown out there as well and 45 yards rushing. On the receiving side, Willis goes for 106 yards and a touchdown. It's been a minute for him getting over 100, so love to see him go out that way. And RJ Riley again gets himself a touchdown. Tom Baker would have been great to get the other senior a touchdown today, but he still finishes with a great career here in Cascade Valley. On the defensive side, we see Stephen Lowe go for 6 in his final game. George Fry gets 5. Kendall Lowens, the freshman, gets 5 as well. From a sack perspective, we had literally everybody today. Amir Carson, George Fry, Kendall Lowens. We see Tony Rutledge. We got James Mitchell. We got Matthew Fowler in his final game getting a big play out there. Interceptions, there was only one, and it was by the all-time leader in interceptions in Cascade Valley. He's only going to finish with 19. But I have to imagine it might have been closer to the upper 20s, maybe even 30 if he hadn't gotten injured, was able to play his senior season. But still, there are so many seniors to be happy about. We will go over stats for the season and career stats in the next episode, which is going to be the off season. But all things considered, the injuries, the ups and downs, the dumb moments, the great moments, this was a fantastic season that didn't end the way we wanted it to with the national title again, but still a W to end it all. Double-digit wins, you can't be but so mad at that. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys in the next one.